Hello and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials. My name is Rebecca Ascott and today we're going to be working with a 30-ounce tapered handled tumbler from AB Designs. I'm going to be using printable vinyl also from AB Designs and a beautiful matching glitter called Bahamas also from AB Designs. So you'll see I got a head start already, and what we're going to do is go ahead and place this printable vinyl right up underneath this handle, and we're going to want the seams to line up underneath the handle as well. You will notice that I've applied painter's tape as we go, and I thought it was going to be like a guide for me, but essentially it really wasn't. So I actually skipped me applying that in the next clip, because really I just wanted the printable vinyl here at the very top of the handle and then down at the bottom just above the handle. And a lot of people ask me about measurements, and I don't measure. So what I wanted to show you was this is how I determine the size that I need. And I'll wrap the stripe around the tumbler, eyeball it, and then cut it. And I cut it so that it does actually overlap the vinyl, if that makes sense, because I just like my vinyl to overlap itself by a little bit. So once I'm sure it's all going to line up the way it's supposed to underneath that handle, then I'll remove the rest of the backing and lay it flat. So once you have that done, now we're ready to do the bottom. And again, I've removed the entire backing off of this. And I'm sorry that I'm slightly out of camera range, but you'll soon see that I did have to tweak this and kind of manipulate it a little bit. So you'll notice that when I lay this flat, it does go up. It is not even, but I'm not concerned about that because we are going to tape it off, and we're going to give us a nice straight edge for this vinyl. So now we're just going to use our Wicked Shimmer tool, and I would recommend taking a couple of passes when going and cutting this bottom end, just to make sure everything's nice and cut correctly. When you're ready, use your weeding pen and just pick it and pull it. And you can use your scraper tool with a velvet side like I have, and just go ahead and push out any air pockets that might remain. If you still have any after this process, you can use your weeding pen and pop those air pockets and gently remove them out. So because I love my spray paint glitter method, I'm going to go ahead and tape off all of the vinyl, and I'm going to spray paint this so that I can glitter it. You will notice that the painter's tape is slightly smaller than the actual printable vinyl, but I'm not concerned about that at all. So here's where I'm going to go ahead and tape off right here, and that way I can use my X-Acto knife just to trim that little section right here. Once you have everything taped off, you're then ready to go ahead and spray paint and then glitter. For this glitter coat, I only needed one coat because the color matched so perfectly. So what I'm going to do after I completely glitter everything where I want it to be, I'm then going to go ahead and immediately remove the tape. I'm going to allow this tumbler to dry for about 30 minutes or so, and then I'm going to seal it with the 2x clear from Rust-Oleum. As you will notice that I did not tape off the handle, so I'm being a little bit careful that I don't get too much glitter onto that handle. Now it's time to go ahead and carefully remove our tape. Now it's time to add a nice little touch to the handle. I will have the sizing for this down for you in the description below. I love the way this looks on the handle, and it is such the perfect little touch to the entire tumbler. So once you have sealed your tumbler and it's completely dry, you're then ready for your first coat of epoxy. I'm going to be using Quick Set from Glitter Craze for my first coat. When working with handled tumblers, I like to do thin coats of epoxy, and that just helps to ensure that we don't have a lot of pulling with the epoxy at those handles. As with any coats of epoxy, make sure you use your heat torch to pop any bubbles that you may or may not be able to see. Allow this to completely dry before moving on to the next step. We are now ready to go ahead and apply our double-sided tape. As you can see, I've already gotten started. And I'm just going to apply this where I want my gold foil strips to be. I will have this gold leaf link down for you in the description below. Now we're just going to go ahead and pull back one by one on the double-sided tape and apply the foil. You will notice that the foil likes to stick not only to the double-sided tape, but to your tumbler. But not to be concerned about that, because we're going to use a baby wipe to clean it up. I personally didn't try to get every single little piece of foil that went off the double-sided tape, because I really liked the way that it looked at the end. I absolutely loved how this foil went with this tumbler. It was a perfect fit. Though, as you can see, it was slightly troublesome getting it all cleaned up. But not to worry, we're just going to keep going until the whole thing is complete, and we're going to clean it up at the end. Also keep in mind that the foil does not need to be sealed before going into epoxy. This tumbler took 2 coats of epoxy and it was complete. As with any coats of epoxy, make sure you use your heat torch to pop any bubbles that you may or may not be able to see. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel for more tutorials coming soon.